This land has fed men, broken men, and buried men, but it never forgives. A match burns out, and the screen plunges back into silence. The video opens with wide, faceless shots, endless stretches of Texas oil fields, tall steel rigs slicing into the desert sky, and dust clouds rolling across the horizon. There are no faces, only silhouettes moving like shadows against the backdrop of fire and smoke. The tone is somber, heavy with tension. A narrator's voice cuts through, calm but filled with weight. Oil is more than power, it's blood. And everyone who touches it bleeds. The camera glides over rusted pump jacks pulling oil from the earth, each motion echoing like a heartbeat. Then a sudden cut to empty highways, small-town diners with neon lights flickering and abandoned. Barns half swallowed by weeds. The music is low, tense, a slow hum of strings that promises violence just beneath the surface. A montage of quick flashes rolls in. A cowboy boot slams into dirt. A hand grips a worn Bible with trembling fingers. A black SUV speeds down a gravel road at night, its headlights carving through the dark. Oil flames burst skyward. The fire reflecting off metal. The voiceover continues. Season 1 showed us the fight to survive. Season 2 shows us the cost. The screen shows a crumbling farmhouse, its windows shattered. Inside, a lone chair sits overturned. The sound of a distant thunderstorm echoes, blending with the groan of metal machinery. The narrator's voice lowers to almost a growl. The land doesn't change, but the people do, and when men change, blood is always spilled. The trailer holds on the image of oil dripping slow and thick onto dry, cracked earth, each drop echoing louder like a ticking clock. The music rises, pressing the audience forward with suspense, then silence. A faint sound of boots walking across gravel fades in. The footsteps grow louder until they stop suddenly. The screen cuts to black. A single line appears in bold, white letters. Taylor Sheridan's drama returns. The sound of the wind howling through oil rigs fills the silence. Then the final whisper, chilling and direct. You thought you'd seen the worst of it. You were wrong. The screen fades out slowly, leaving the audience holding their breath. Asterisk, the silence shatters. A sudden roar of machinery fills the screen, drill bits tearing through rock, gears grinding, metal screaming against metal. Sparks flash in the dark, lighting up the outline of men working in shadows. Their faces remain hidden, but their movements are heavy, desperate, almost violent. The sound of oil bursting from the ground echoes like a gunshot, drowning the air in black smoke. The narrator's voice rises, sharper this time. Every barrel brings wealth. Every drop carries blood. The fight isn't just for oil anymore. It's for survival. The music begins to pulse like a heartbeat. The visuals shift, quick glimpses of power and desperation colliding. A brief shot of a courtroom gavel slamming down, the sound echoing like a rifle. A close-up of a trembling hand signing a contract under dim light. Men in cowboy hats staring across a table stacked with whiskey glasses, their silence louder. Then words. A burning oil field at night, flames towering like demons, the sky painted red. The story expands, showing not just the oil fields, but the cities, the boardrooms, the living rooms where families sit in fear. The wealth pulled from the land doesn't stay clean, it stains every hand that touches it. The narrator cuts in, voice colder now. Greed doesn't just build empires, it destroys families. The camera lingers on a farmhouse porch. A woman's shadow stands at the door, clutching a child's toy left behind in the dirt. Inside, the house is silent, too silent until the faint creak of a floorboard reminds us danger isn't far. Suddenly, the scene cuts. Headlights blaze through the night, an engine roars and tires spit gravel as a truck speeds down an empty road. The shot is faceless, but the tension is in every turn of the wheel. Every second the driver pushes forward. The music quickens. Strings rise, layered with the low thump of drums. Every beat pulls us deeper into chaos, then silence again. A single voice whispers in the dark, raw with anger. You don't own the land owns you. The words linger, heavy as thunder, before the screen erupts again into motion. A fist slams into a table, scattering stacks of cash. A revolver clicks as the cylinder spins. A silhouette of a man throws open barn doors, sunlight slicing through dust like a blade. Oil pours down metal, black and endless, coating everything in its path. The conflicts expend not just men against men, but families torn apart, communities crumbling under the weight of money, pride, and betrayal. Faceless figures stand in, shadows, some holding shotguns, others holding contracts. Both weapons just as dangerous. The narrator continues, his voice steady but filled with menace. There are no heroes here, only survivors, and even they don't last long. The visuals grow faster, more fragmented, a Bible slammed shut. A bottle of whiskey shattering on the floor. Chains rattling in the back of a truck. The sound of a child crying in the distance, everything builds, every sound layered, every image sharper, pulling the viewer closer to the breaking point. The music swells, louder and louder, until it feels unbearable. Then, just as it peaks, everything cuts out, the screen goes black, a single sound remains. The faint drip of oil, steady, unstoppable. Then a final line, whispered like a curse. This land takes, and it never gives back. The screen holds in silence, for a beat too long, leaving the audience suspended in dread before the story races into its next storm. Asterisk, the screen explodes into motion. No more slow build-up, no more calm narration. Now everything collides in a storm of fire, steel, and fury. The pounding of drums kicks in, fast and relentless, like a war march. Every beat lands with a new image, each sharper than the last. An oil rig ignites in a burst of flames, black smoke twisting into the night sky. A truck door slams, the echo bouncing across an empty dirt road. A shotgun shell hits the ground, in slow motion, spinning before it lands. A hand tears a photograph in half, the pieces carried away by the wind, the visuals race faster. Each one a piece of the chaos about to consume everything. The narrator's voice doesn't guide us this time. Instead, it's the voices of characters, faceless, distorted in the mix, rising over the noise. Snippets of dialogue cut through like knives. You think money makes you safe? Blood's on all of us now. There's no way back. Each line is timed with flashes of violence and despair. A chair is thrown against a wall. A door bursts open in the middle of the night. Flames roll across the ground as oil spills and ignites. The music grows more violent, strings screeching, drums pounding faster, almost unbearable. A close-up. A trembling hand loads bullets into a revolver. Another cut. A glass of whiskey shatters, liquid mixing with broken shards on the floor. Another. Headlights blinding in the dark. The sound of an engine screaming to life. The camera never lingers. Each shot is quick, brutal, like a heartbeat racing out of control. The sound of a woman's voice breaks through the noise, pleading, desperate, stop this before it kills us all. But her words vanish under the roar of gunfire in the distance. Images collide one after another, boots stomping through mud, barbed wire twisting in the wind, a hand slamming shut a briefcase full of money, oil dripping across someone's glove, black and heavy. A house window shattering as fire erupts inside. The montage slows for one brief moment. A single shot holds longer, a child's toy lying in the dirt, half buried, forgotten. The sound of thunder rolls over the land. For just a second, silence. Returns before the storm hits harder. A man's voice, deep and cold, slices through. You can't take what the land doesn't give. The montage erupts again. Shots fired, tires screeching. Men screaming in the distance. Fire racing across. Dry grass. Oil spewing into the sky. The music surges to its highest point, louder, faster, almost overwhelming. The cuts are faster now. A hand reaches for a Bible but pulls away. A contract is thrown into fire. A shadowed figure loads a shotgun. A truck crashes into a fence, wood splintering in the night. The voices overlap, chaos in sound and fury. It's too late. Don't do this. This is the price. The images blur together until they're just fragments of violence, fire, and desperation. Then sudden silence, the screen goes black. The only sound left is the faint crackle of fire and the slow drip of oil. Then a single whisper breaks the silence, soft but devastating. Nobody leaves clean. The screen cuts to a final explosive image, flames swallowing an oil rig, the sky glowing red as if the earth itself is burning. The sound of steel collapsing echoes like a scream, then silence again. The black screen holds. Heavy, suffocating, the chaos falls silent. The flames, the gunshots, the roaring engines, gone. In their place only the faint whistle of the wind over empty plains. The screen stays black for a beat too long. Long enough for the audience to breathe again, to think it's over. Then slowly, the image of an oil-soaked boot appears, stepping into cracked dirt. Each step echoes like thunder across the barren land. A deep voice, heavy with warning, cuts through the silence. The land doesn't forget. And it never forgives. The sound of metal chains rattling fades in, low and distant, as if coming from underground. The shot widens. Empty fields stretch for miles, oil rigs standing like skeletons against the horizon. They creak in the wind. Their movements slower now, almost mournful. The music returns, but softer this time. A single violin plays, low and broken, carrying the weight of sorrow and inevitability. The screen flashes white then, a brief glimpse of a barn engulfed in flames, a contract stamped with blood-red ink. A shadowy figure loading a shotgun in silence. These images fade as quickly as they appear, like memories or ghosts of what's to come. The narrator's voice returns. Steady and cold, this land takes everything. Families, friends, futures, it doesn't matter what you promise or who you bury, the land always wins. A single drop of oil falls in slow motion, hitting the ground with a deafening echo. The camera zooms in on the spreading stain in the dirt. It grows wider and wider, until it consumes the whole screen, drowning it in black dot. Then silence again. From the darkness, voices return. Not clear this time, but overlapping whispers. Don't trust him. It's gone too far. We can't stop now. They layer together, louder, sharper, until the whispers feel like a storm of unseen faces surrounding the audience. Then suddenly cut. Silence once more. The final image emerges. A faceless silhouette standing in the middle of a burning oil field. Flames tower around him, the night sky glowing blood red. He doesn't move, he doesn't speak. He just stands there, as if the land itself is holding him in place. The narrator whispers one last line. Season 2, the fight has only begun. The music surges in one final sharp note, like a blade cutting through the silence. Then the title card slams onto the screen in bold, unyielding letters. Landman Season 22025. The sound of a gun cocking echoes into the silence, followed by the faint crackle of fire. The screen fades to black dot. No voices. No music, just darkness. The trailer ends.